Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Engaging Students with Nearpod. I'm Mike Baker from Central Intermediate Unit 10, and thank you for joining us for part of our online instruction series. And joining us today, we have Diane and Renee, also from IU10, and they will be moderating the chat. As we start, please make sure that your microphone is muted, and you can certainly use the chat window to ask any questions that you have, and Diane and Renee will be watching that, and they will interrupt me and ask your questions. And at the end, we'll have some time to answer some questions using the microphones. This session is being recorded, and it will be posted no later than tomorrow, but usually they show up a bit later today. At the end of the session, if you have any questions still remaining, please send me an email. My email address is really simple. It is mbaker@ciu10.org. Before we go any further, please check your name in our participant window, and we'd like you to add your district's information after your name if you have yet to do so. Many of you have, but that just helps us take attendance. So you just hover over your name in the participant window, and you'll see a button there that's a menu, and just choose to rename yourself and add some identifying information after your name. If you look in that window, you'll see a lot of school initials. That's all you need to do, just so we know who's here. And again, thank you for joining us. So today we have actually 3 targets, which is more than I might typically do in 45 minutes. But one of them's a pretty quick one in that I would like you to go through Nearpod as a student, so you get an idea of what students will see. And that will help you get a better understanding for that second target, which is to just figure out what exactly Nearpod is. And then you will be creating in a team, so you won't be alone. Don't be scared if you haven't done this before. We'll put you in groups, and then you can create a Nearpod presentation using one activity type that I will assign to you. That will give you a chance to actually get into Nearpod and use it as a teacher. So you are going to see both what the students see and then what you would see. So using your nonverbal feedback buttons, the yes, no buttons, how many of you have used Nearpod before? Please respond by clicking yes or no. Okay, so a few have used it. Many are saying they have not. So this is a tool that gets a lot of promotion. They do a pretty good job marketing it. It is a very unique tool. And as you see it here as from the student side, I think you'll start getting some ideas to see how you might use this in the classroom. Joan is mentioning you don't see the yes or no button. Look in the participant window, it may not be open. And if you just click on participants in that dark black kind of toolbar at the bottom, you'll bring up the buttons and you'll see a yes, no button. All right, so you are now going to be a student. So in a moment, I'm going to show you a code. So you want to fire up your web browser or open a new tab and go to nearpod.com. Do not log in. We'll do that in a bit, but do not log in. The good news is if you have a Google account or a Office 365 account, which would pretty much include every district in IU10, you'll be able to sign in with that information. You don't have to create a new account because we all have trouble remembering passwords, so that should make you very happy. So I'm going to give you a code in a moment. You'll see on that at nearpod.com, there is a red box where you'll enter a code. That's where you're going as a student. And then it will ask you for your name and you're going to join the session. So this is the code that you're going to enter, YNSTM. And that will allow you to join in. One thing you'll notice as you're joining at nearpod.com, again, entering this code in that red box, is that you can share these codes as invitations in email. You can put them on social media. You just copy the link and then look, there is Classroom, Remind, which many of us like to use, and Microsoft Teams. So again, if you're in a Microsoft district, for us, that would be Clearfield and PO. Good news, you can integrate this right into Teams if you're running your classroom in Teams. So does everyone have that code, YNSTM? I'm going to put it in chat so I can move on. So you should still be able to see my screen. Again, I'm in the teacher view. So we will jump into this momentarily. I think it looks like I have 15 of you there so far. So I'm still waiting for about 8 people. So if I click here, here's my student list. Oh, Action Jackson is here. Wow. Well, there's an 80s throwback. Very nice. Carl Weathers, I believe, was Action Jackson. And he was also Apollo Creed. I think I saw that movie in junior high, maybe. That's a good one. Okay, so we're up to 20 people, so we're getting pretty close. Again, that code is in the chat if you haven't figured it out. Looks like most of you have. Okay, so you should now be seeing a screen similar to mine, where you would see, looks like Leslie Nope. So if you're seeing Amy Poehler as Leslie Nope there, go ahead and give me a yes or a thumbs up so I know that everybody is seeing this slide. Excellent. Very nice. Look below the slide and you'll see there's a little media bar. Go ahead and click play there. Hit that play button. And you should be hearing my nasally greeting to you. So when you create slides, you can actually add media, videos, and audio to the slides, things that you create. So it's a really neat way to give a greeting to your students as you start. All right, here we go. Are you ready? So I'm asking you this question again. So you should now have a poll question. Make sure you hit submit when you answer this question. It's the same question I just asked. Have you ever used Nearpod? Let's see what results we get. Notice the live results showing on my screen, the teacher screen. I can see right now that about 14% haven't answered yet, but the dots are filling in, giving me instant feedback as to how people are voting in on my poll. I'll give you about 5 seconds if you haven't answered yet. All right, so I'm seeing lots of results. What's really cool here is that I can share those results to you. So right now, you know how you voted, but if I want to show the class, kind of we took the pulse, I'll hit this share button. And now on your screen, you should be seeing those results. I can't see them because I'm the teacher, but right now you should be seeing a circle chart, more than likely a donut chart, I guess it's called. Oh, I love donuts. And that should be showing you how people answered. Pretty cool, right? So let me unshare that. So there's a really quick formative assessment piece. It's just a poll. It's not a quiz. There's no right or wrong answer. I'm just taking the pulse, which is something that we will do frequently in our classroom, regardless of whether we're in a brick and mortar building or we're online. Okay, so what I'm loading right now is a simulation. This is something that is part of Nearpod. They have all kinds of science simulations, which is something we desperately need right now because we don't have access to all that equipment. So, you know, if you're an elementary teacher, you're probably doing science all the time. Secondary science teachers specifically, if you're an English teacher, please don't let your eyes glaze over at this point because you'll have some fun with this little activity. So what I'm going to ask you to do, and I'll give you about a minute, you are going to move these bricks, the weights, over onto what appears to be kind of like a seesaw, right? We have our fulcrum here. And I'm going to put a couple weights on to show you how this works. And I just hit this switch and that will remove these legs so it can pivot. Oh my goodness. So even though I have 20 kilogram weights on each side, it's leaning to one side. So go ahead and mess around with that and I'll show you a couple other features. So I'll give you about a minute to play around. See if you can get it to balance. I don't see any questions or comments or concerns right now in chat, so I'm guessing you're having fun playing around with this. Notice there are also people in addition to the bricks. So if you click that right arrow, we can do different people. And then we have some mystery objects as well that look like presents. So you can just drag those out and see what happens if we put people on this seesaw. Okay. How many of you got to play around a little bit with these check boxes here for show? Did anybody take the risk there and say, oh, I'm going to see if this screws anything up? What's nice about this is if you turn on forces, you're going to see arrows that represent the force that each of those masses place on that board. Okay? And as I move the girl closer, okay, I can see it will redraw. I also have a level line here, so you can put an indicator up. So the students can really learn about what the force of gravity has an effect here on this fulcrum. You can also change to rulers. So if you want to talk about meters, if you're using units of length, that obviously will work there. And then you can kind of simplify it too, just by putting numbered callouts there. So it's a very fun activity. This is just one of probably 100 that are out there that you can put in. So I'll hit this refresh button and that resets it. Okay. So what you see now is a matching game. Go ahead and try to match up the word with the image. Again, I'm seeing live results coming in. I think this is one of those activities at first glance you think, oh, this is kind of an elementary school thing, but I could certainly see doing this with historical artifacts, picture of an artifact with a name and identifying people, for example. So these matching games, sometimes I feel like it's kind of a primary grade thing, but I think you can really scale this to pretty much any grade level. So I'm seeing here on my screen, if you just take a quick glance, so I can see that Action Jackson here took 5 attempts to match things up, got all 4 correct eventually. Okay, so I can see here how many people needed more than the 4 turns to figure it out. Okay, yes, and as Sarah points out, this would be great for vocabulary. Okay, matching an artist with a painting. Thank you, Renee. Good ideas. Okay, and I can pull this up just to see on my screen to remember, and just in case I forgot what the answers are, there it is. Okay, and I'll show you how to make that. It's very, very simple. I'm only going to take about 2 minutes with this, but what you're seeing now is a very short article. It's about how American musician and composer David Foster is using his home studio to kind of share music with students. And I'm asking you for 2 VIPs, very important points, and 1 MVP, your most valuable point from this. And you can just use those highlighting tools or the pencil and just kind of mark it up. So one of the things we lose when we're online is the ability to hand students a copy of something and say, mark it up, which we know is a best practice for literacy. So this is a way to do this in Nearpod, that we can give them something to read and we can mark it up. So I'll be quiet for another minute and a half while you mark it up. I see lots of highlighting happening. Again, the nice thing about this is the teacher, I'm delivering this lesson in real time, so I can see you drawing on all of these. There's 24 students. So I can see what's happening. I can see that Diane has not begun to draw yet. I'm watching you, Diane. About 30 seconds. This is just to give you an idea. If you could switch from the highlighter to the pen, and you can write VIP or MVP as well. There's also a text tool if you like to type. About 30 seconds. When you're finished, you can submit. So I see Jen just submitted hers. It's color-coded green. Looks like she even added a picture to hers. Very nice, Jen. Diane, I know you're taking notes, so I'm just giving you a hard time. I shouldn't do that because you never give me a hard time. All right, so let's take a look at a couple of these submitted ones. I'm going to use Jen's because she put some art there, an image it looks like. So you can see, now this is a little weird right now because you're seeing my teacher screen. So I'm getting a preview and I can step through these and notice the student names are at the top. So if I want to share Jen's with you, I just hit share. And now you should be seeing on your screen kind of a full version of Jen's markup. And I could then talk about what she highlighted. We could ask her to share why she highlighted what she did. And so it's a great way to share what other students did. Here's Sam's. Okay, let's move on. And here I have one of Shakespeare's sonnets. I think Diane probably will do this one. This is a fill in the blank. So you should be able to drag words and place them where they need to be. Now you're seeing the answers on my screen if you're watching me. Okay, normally the students wouldn't see this. You wouldn't want to share your screen with them. So if you're not familiar with this one, you can kind of cheat at this point. "30 seconds. It's okay if you don't finish. I just want to give you a taste of what's here. The important thing is that you get to see how to make it and then make your own. When my son was about 6, he used to take my Riverside Shakespeare off the shelf and read sonnets to us before dinner every night. That's when we knew that we were in trouble. Okay, let's do one other activity here. I love this one. It's called Time to Climb. And I am going to, let's do underwater. That looks fun. It's asking you now to pick an avatar for yourself for this game. Oh, I can see people showing up. Excellent. Oh, look at these adorable characters. There are more characters. If you click right on the right arrow, there are other characters. And uh-oh, Renee, there's a giraffe avatar. As the teacher, you can hover over and click and see who has taken what avatar, which is kind of fun. Okay, so we have 24 students active in Nearpod right now. 13 are in the game. I'll wait about 5 seconds. If you don't get in, I apologize, but we do need to move on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's it for our game. Get ready to answer questions, and we are off and running. next question. Here comes question 3. They're running. This is the final question. Get those answers in. Let's see who wins. Oh, there's our leaderboard. Lori wins, followed by Sean, and then Nikki. Okay. Did you have fun playing that game? The Price is Right question was based on the fact that this reminded me of Cliffhanger, the little yodeling guy that goes up the hill. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. So I'll show you here in a second. So I left you one last little voice message here. Go ahead and play that. So instead of just having a recorded version, I just made my own Dr. Evil. So, and then I just inserted a slide here that would take you to, you could click on this and go to our website for more information. Okay. So I'm going to end this live session. This will kick all of you out. Nice job, everyone. So what I'd like to do is just take a moment to show you how easy it is to make a Nearpod lesson. And then I'm going to put you in breakout rooms and assign each breakout room an activity to do. So you're going to make, when you get to your breakout room, a slide and then an activity slide, okay? So it's very, very simple. Let me just show you what this would look like when I'm not signed in, because you're going to need to do this. When you go to that Nearpod homepage, you're going to sign up for free. And then if you have a Google or Office 365 account, which all of you likely do, you can just sign in very easily there, or you can create. It is free for teachers. I'll explain the difference between the free and the paid versions in a moment. Once you're in, you create a lesson 2 ways. One is in Nearpod. The second way is to do it in Google Slides. I'm not going to cover that today. Basically, it's an add-on for Google Slides, and then you can put the activities that we just did into a slide. So if you've used Pear Deck before, same kind of idea. It allows you to integrate the Nearpod tools into a slideshow. So when you get in with your team, one of you will create, and the other people on your team are going, you'll all work collaboratively. We don't have time to look at 24 different lessons. So each group will make one in a collaborative fashion with one of you creating a lesson. Here's how easy it is. You simply click the button to create a new lesson. Of course, I can name it. And then it's as simple as adding a slide. It uses a slide metaphor. There are 3 different types of content that we can add. Content slides are things that have stuff for consumption. The web content is the simplest one. It's simply a URL, a website address. So if you want to provide them, maybe it's a link to Tween Tribune and they're going to read something. You can put that there and that web page will show up right in Nearpod. Activities are those interactive things we did. So the matching is here, the quizzes, there's Flipgrid, which Renee covered a week and a half ago or so. So you can add and integrate those types of activities directly into Nearpod. So again, it's as simple as creating a slide, adding it, and picking what kind of content you want to put on the slide. I'm going to build just one slide very quickly to give you an idea of how it works, and then I'm going to turn you loose. So for example, let's look at let's do the matching pairs. And I'm not going to completely finish this out because this will be one of the tasks for you, but I can just say match the word with the image. Of course, I could do match the word with the definition as well. And then it's add a pair. And I'll just recreate what I did before. So if I said apple, instead of entering text, I'll add an image. Google Image is built right in. It's funny because it gives me Apple logos. Let's just do that for fun. And then I can scale that image as well. So if I want to zoom in on certain parts of it, it kind of automatically scales it to fill. Then I hit done. And then it's as simple as just adding another pair. All of these lessons work the same way. If you are doing a quiz, it's as simple as making your quiz question, putting the answers in, and then putting a check mark next to the one that's right. And then it will grade the quiz for you. It's really, really easy. Once you've seen one of these activities, you've really seen how to do all of them. I will point out to you in this upper right-hand corner, some of the activities have a timer. So if you want to limit them, if you want to say you only have 30 seconds to match as many pairs as you possibly can, you can add that. And as the lesson is going, they will have a countdown timer and it will stop them at 30 seconds. Okay? So we're to the point now where you're going to create something. So a couple things I don't want to gloss over. Nearpod is free. It's always been free. The free version is limited to one active session. So you cannot have multiple classes going on at one time. And those classes can only have 40 people. Okay? For most of us, that should work, right? Most of us are, I hope, under 40. If you have 41 kids or more in your class, I'm sorry. You must be at a college. You cannot do self-paced lessons in the free version. So there is an option to do self-paced. This is great when students miss school. Basically, you can put the link in Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams. They can click on it, and instead of you advancing the slides, they can do it. It's self-paced. All of those countdown timers and things that you may have added will all still work, but they're able to go through the pages of the lesson on their own. During this COVID-19 pandemic, like almost everyone else, Nearpod is offering the full version for free, but you do have to fill out a form. So when you visit nearpod.com, you'll see a banner there that says, what's going on with us with COVID-19, something to that effect. Click on there and you'll see a link to open up a window that you can register your account, and they will open it up completely during the time of the pandemic. Okay? But the free one, as long as you don't want to do self-paced and you don't have more than 40 people, works pretty well. There will be some limitations on things like virtual field trips and some of those models and things like there are 3D models that you can add to slides. Some of those may be limited when the free version becomes that limited version again. Okay? Let me pause for a second and look in the chat. I don't see any questions there. All right. So you already got the demonstration because I didn't return to my slideshow. So here's what you are going to do, and this is perfect. We're going to have about 15 minutes or so, just under 15. I'm going to put you in breakout rooms, and those breakout rooms will each have a task to do. That task is going to be different in each breakout room. So you're going to be making an activity slide. I'm going to copy and paste the activities, the roles for each room into chat. So that will be there for your reference. I also have a slide in a moment. One person in your team will make that lesson, sign in Nearpod, make the lesson. The others will help. Please make a blank slide, a title slide. Mine had Dr. Evil or Leslie Knope on it. Just make us a nice little title slide, and then make a second slide that has your assigned activity. When we come back into the main room, I will ask that the person who created the Nearpod to show us what your group created, so we get an idea of some of the cool things that you were able to do. Everyone understand what is going to happen now? So I'm going to fire up the breakout rooms here. I see a lot of yeses. Let me get out of this presentation for a moment so I can get to the breakout rooms. And we have so I'm going to make, actually I need to make 7 rooms because I have 7 activities. So there'll be 3 or 4 of you in a room. And in one moment I will send you there and I'll be popping in and out to check on your progress. Does everyone see the list in the chat? So if you're in room 1, you're doing time to climb. Okay, here we go. I am sending you to your rooms now. Please accept that invitation. Joan, you should have an invitation somewhere on your screen that asks you to go to breakout room 2. Okay, so yeah, the internet difficulties. I would assume we send a roster to your administrators, so I would think that that you'll be fine there. Also, we do have the recorded version available after the fact. Hello, breakout room 1.
Hello.
Hi.
Who's running the show here? Who's attempting to make the time to climb?
I'm just trying to sign in to Nearpod. I don't know if anyone else is.
I'm signing in as
Hi.
well.
Okay, so once somebody's in, then that person can kind of take the driver's seat, share your screen, and then you can build a time to climb together. Just a couple questions would be great.
Okay.
All right. And I'll be popping back in from time to time here.
Okay, I am in.
Okay.
Yes.
And then click on add slide
Uh-huh.
and then click on add activity.
Okay.
And the second one is open-ended question.
Okay.
So then we just have to add a question.
well,
I'm not
we
sure
need
how
to
to
add
add the.
So you can
Yeah, I don't know how to
share
add the
title
other.
page too.
Remember, you can share your screen even in a breakout room.
Okay.
So
How does the open-ended question work? You didn't show us one of those, right?
that's correct. This is a little bit of a challenge. It will be very self-explanatory. So we'll see what you come up with. But whoever's creating that slide, if you hit share screen, the others in the room can help walk you through it. That way you're all on the same page.
So we have to add a title slide. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So we don't.
way up.
Well,
Okay.
not like, yeah, right there. Can you,
Okay.
there you go. So what do we want to make a quiz about?
I don't know, because I don't have a whole lot of background knowledge about the Golden Girls. So you girls are gonna have to guide me here.
This doesn't have to be about the Golden Girls.
Oh.
Okay.
That was just us kind of welcoming. Like he had Dr. Evil, but none of his stuff really went around Dr. Evil.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, that was at the end, but at the beginning. So what do you guys want to do a quiz of?
Okay. Upload, we don't really have any files.
I wonder if the one, I don't know if it was this one, but there was one that was linked to Google. If you click on upload file or the plus symbol and see if it takes you to a Google thing, that just takes
No,
you
that
to your
doesn't.
computer. So
Just do an image?
Yeah. And then just do like,
There's the
clicking
Google
the Google
Drive
search
link
at
right
the top.
there.
Like
Okay.
do like a
What do we want?
painter or artist or something. I don't know. And see what Google.
I know now wait a minute. I know
So
he was
that's
able.
that's a URL. I think we want to add, would that be add content?
Yeah, he showed us where we could, maybe a slide. Maybe
So
that's
you
what it was.
have, so
Yeah, we're
are you doing
struggling,
your,
Mike.
are you doing your slide or are you doing your activity?
We're not sure. You didn't show us a collaborate, so we're not quite sure.
So
We
let's
know
get,
it's a Padlet, right? But we just put Vanilla Ice. We embedded the video there, but we didn't put anything in our collaborate yet. So we were on our slide there for a second, but
okay, so what you're in right now is a slide. So you can make your title slide here, and then you can reorganize the slides when you go back to your lesson. You can drag the slides around. So if you need to
okay.
make
So
this
so
first.
Jen, let's do stop, collaborate, and listen.
Oh,
So Mike, it looked to us like the collaborate is like a Padlet, where the kids can go ahead and post things. Correct?
mhm. Yes.
Okay.
All right. Yep. I think you're on your way.
Ooh.
Oh, I could see how you could spend hours and hours on.
Going down the rabbit hole.
Library, then it will show up in your library stuff.
Okay. That's cool. I like this.
So, yeah. And
So I'll just
if
have to
you-
go through and look at what they have.
Right. And one of the things that's really nice is, like, I have a different account than this one because I have a district. This is like my free one. But if you would go into that COVID-19 thing and ask for the whole one, when you show it in my library, then here you can choose that student paste thing, which means that you could assign it to a student.
That's where this is where you hit that. If you hit get access, that's when they'll turn on the full features. But it takes a day or two. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. But then you can assign this and they can go through it. Awesome.
Yeah. She was kind
Hey, Mike.
Hello.
Hi.
Do we have any luck with our matching pairs?
We're done.
Was it easy enough to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat tool. It really is. And I love that they're making it free right now. In my previous job at a school district, we had the paid version. And one of the things it does that's cool is that you get all the reporting. So teachers could actually get reports on how much time students spent on it, what their grades were on the graded activities. And you can get some of that, but that's really one of the advantages of the paid one. But the free version, other than the limits on how many people, it's for free. I can't complain. All right. So I'll be bringing everybody back in about probably 2 minutes.
Sounds good. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right.
Do it automatically.
Yes, yeah. And I
Okay.
think you can probably leave the breakout room on your own and it will bring you back to the room if you're ready. But I'll send a message to everybody here momentarily.
Okay.
See you soon in the big room.
All right.
So we're still waiting for some of our participants to return from the breakout room. Almost everyone is back.
That was fun, Mike.
I saw lots of neat stuff when I popped into the rooms. Now, of course, group 7, that was the last one I got to, so they were already finished. Group 1 and 2, it was a little rough when I got in, but I'm thinking everybody probably figured it out. It's a very, very simple tool to use, which is what I like about it. It's easy, and I love that all the image search and stuff is all built in, so we don't have to compile all that stuff separately before we start. Okay, so every group is going to participate here and share out. So the person who has your presentation on the screen, your slides, you're going to show us what you did and just talk very briefly, no more than 30 seconds about what it is you made and what your group was thinking about during that process. So we're just going to go in order. So I'm going to stop my share. I have permitted others to share. So how about someone from Time to Climb, which was breakout room 1. Go ahead and share your Time to Climb and tell us what you came up with.
Okay, that's me.
All right.
And let me go. All right, can you see?
We can.
Everybody can see my screen? All right,
Yep.
so do I just click on this to make it work?
Well, if you hit you can hit preview at the bottom as well.
Oh, okay, okay.
So in that gray area.
We
there,
just
you can
got done. We just got done
cool. Okay.
before, right before you took us back. It's pretty simple. We were all elementary, and so we just did some addition, subtraction problems. And we added in 100 board for each question. So the kids had that to refer to for each question. All right, so what do you want me to do now? Those are all
well,
of our
this is
questions.
so it's hard to actually to run the game. What you would have to do is make like an incognito window and then join as a student to actually see the game part in action
Okay,
here.
that's
So
what-
there's no need to do that. But can you talk about, so you mentioned you have your images there.
Yeah.
Were those difficult to add?
No, we just I did an add image, and at the top, typed in 100 chart, and there were like 10 pages of 100 charts to choose from.
Awesome. So you didn't have to
So
gather anything up or prepare in advance
have
for
a
that.
Nope.
So-
Yep. We have a couple different ones
All
we
right.
chose there.
And once
So
you, yes, go ahead.
Mike, I have a question for you.
Mhm.
So if the kids were to click on that 100 chart, would it like enlarge it?
It
Like
would,
them to
it's going
use it
to
for a
show,
friend.
yeah, it's going to show in the kind of in the upper right corner. And
Okay.
honestly, I didn't try that, Renee, so I can't answer it 100%
Okay.
certainty, but I would assume that touching it would probably, or clicking on it would bring it up. But remember, there's
Okay. They
30,
haven't.
there's 30 seconds for the question, and
Right.
they could miss out on answering it during that time.
And so, Mike, for the younger ones, we could adjust the time constraints, correct?
Yes, that's what that little timer is above the image where
Yeah.
it now says 30 seconds. You could change that to pretty much anything. Okay.
Mhm.
Excellent. Nice job out of our time to climb. Next, we go to breakout room 2, open-ended question.
Okay. All right.
Good job,
That
Jen.
would be me. Hold on. Share.
Here it
Can I
comes.
see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So if I do the same thing, I click on preview. is
You
that
can hit
correct?
preview, right. And again, we may not see exactly what the students see, but it will give us an idea of what you created.
So we just made a very basic first screen, and we didn't know what to call it. We just called
Okay.
it what we could.
Good.
So that was the first screen. And then this one, I'm not sure why this is showing. It has a link to a Newsella web or an article on Newsella that the students would then have to go to and read.
Yes.
And then this is, let me see if I can do this differently.
Oh, here it comes.
I'm going to do it. I'll show you the editing side.
Okay.
I think that was a little better. Perhaps. Maybe not.
So if you want to show us the open-ended question.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes. Here we go. I think this should, maybe not. No. Why? How do I get the question up? Oh, right there, up here at the
There
top.
it is.
Identify
There you go.
three
Yeah,
most-
it just
we
does a little animation.
Came up with some generic. Yes. So
Yeah, oh,
the
great.
question we had about this was, there's really no way to put an answer in there that the Nearpod would then correct. Is that?
That is correct. Yeah, the open-ended here, you cannot grade automatically. It would just collect the student answers, and you'd have to look at them.
Well, Mike, another thought would be, I mean, I know we're looking at this within our Zoom as well, but could the kids be exchanging and kind of looking at each other's responses, or is this
No.
just the teacher that gets those responses?
Just the teacher. So you would have to be
Okay.
careful that you're not sharing your screen during the time that the students are doing the lesson.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah. So if they're
Okay.
answering and you have it on your screen, they could see the answers coming in if you're sharing. So
Okay.
you don't want to share while you're running the lesson. They should just see the video of you. All right.
Okay.
Nice
you.
job, group 2. Okay, group 3. You made a quiz.
Okay, that would be my group.
All right, Stacey.
And so I am going to share with you here. Okay, can you see that?
We can.
Golden Girls.
So we decided to do the Golden Girls because there were 4 ladies in my group. And then we did the quiz. So let's see here. The preview's down here. So I guess we'll go to preview. And so we tried to put some humor into it. So we decided to make it about COVID-19. And so there you can see one of our questions: how long should you wash your hands? And then our second question: what is the best drink for staying sane? And then question 3: how do you properly instruct your children or grandchildren during this pandemic? So, and you can see our choices there. And I think that's as far as we got.
That's perfect.
That's awesome.
And you were able to then select which answer was correct as you built the questions.
That's right. Yeah. And I just clicked and it had a green check mark there to signify the one that was Correct.
Very user-friendly and intuitive, right? It's not difficult to figure out how to mark the right answer.
Yes,
Mike,
that's correct.
Mike, we did have one question while we were doing this. Nikki, which is a music teacher, wanted to know, because she wanted to put music at the end, is there a way to grab the music off of like YouTube or another place rather than you talking into it?
Yes, when you add media, you have the choice of either using the recorder or providing a link to the media.
Okay.
Okay, and
there you go,
now
Nikki.
these lessons are not public, so it's not like posting copyrighted music on YouTube. So really no one's going to see this other than your students. So I don't think you have to worry quite as much about using a song. You know, and again, given the times, I don't think there are too many recording artists that'll be like, you can't play Shake It Off, you know, because they get what we need to do. Very nice.
So Nikki, does that answer your question?
Let's go on then to 4, draw it. And this is what I use to do the article.
Okay, that would be our group. I'm going to try to do the share.
All right, give it a shot.
It says you cannot start it while others are participating sharing. I think she has to end her
Oh,
share.
yes. Yep.
I can't do it till she ends her.
There we
There
go.
we go.
There we go.
Thank you.
Here it comes.
Okay. So we'll do preview. Okay, I'm going to go back because it's on the last slide. Here we go. So we just said draw it was our title. And then we were going to have them draw 2D shapes that have 4 sides. And then we found a video that goes over sides and vertices for the end. That's all the further we got.
I think that's really, really impressive. So you have a video there. I love the idea of drawing those, 4-sided 2D shapes using that grid paper. Really, really nice job. Yeah, anything you put as the background as a file, then they can draw on. Outstanding. Okay, so we're moving on now to collaborate. So this is breakout room 5.
No, end my share here in just a second.
Yep.
I get that. Sorry, it's not letting me get in there. Hold on.
Sure, Shawnee. Holding up.
I'm stuck. It's not letting me.
So
make
in
it
your
bigger.
in your toolbar, it should.
Yeah, it's got you minimized and it's not letting me click on it.
All
So
right,
give
let me
just
see
a-
it. I can force you. I can force you
Yeah,
out.
there we are. Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
now group 5, collaborate. Oh, I can't wait to see this one. I already got a preview.
Okay, can you see?
Oh yeah.
So Mike didn't show us the collaborate, but we figured it was very much like Padlet, which is what Diane had showed us the other week. I don't know if you can hear me okay too.
We can.
But so like Padlet, we asked a question, what is collaboration? The students would answer that. And then when they were all said and done, we have this little video.
So sadly, we're not hearing the audio because when you share, you have to check a button that says give you the audio. But we can only imagine that we're hearing Vanilla Ice here. Good old Rob Van Winkle. Oh, look at that. Yeah, it does support animated GIFs as well, which is fun. Kids love those. So
Now,
yeah, buddy. Yes.
Did you put that one in? That just automatically was in there.
It just showed up on ours. We didn't put it in.
Oh, well, it's the magic of Buddy the Elf.
Oh, wait. No, Jen and Glory, we did that intentionally, right?
Sure, yes.
Well, sometimes things come to us in magical ways, just like Santa and Buddy. Okay, group 6, show us the poll. We did one of those. Let's see what you came up with. Are we there? Group 6.
And who is it?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, okay.
All right. So we want to preview.
So we can do
Right.
the preview or the,
Oh, this will work too. So there's your title slide, right? There you go. Are you enjoying online school? So they would get the answer yes, no. No answer, by the way, is always there. That just means that they didn't respond. It didn't mean that an option is to not give an answer. It just means they didn't choose one of the two that we gave them. Okay. Very, very nice. Was that easy enough to set up, group 6? By the way, all these questions, the open-ended, the time to climb, the quizzes, they're all set up exactly the same way. So once you learn how to do one, you're good with all of them. That brings us to our final group, which is breakout room 7, matching pairs. And I know they were finished when I got there, so be ready to be amazed.
Are you able to see my?
We can see it perfectly, yes.
Okay, so we did matching pairs, which was kind of easy because we had gone through that. So we just decided to go with, so match the words with an image. And then we decided to go with words with technology.
Very nice. How long did it take you to
that's
put
nice.
this together?
Not too long, maybe a few minutes. Since
Excellent.
we didn't have to look for anything because you had already shown what we had to do. It was just doing it. Deciding on the names was, yeah.
Yes.
On the words, yeah.
Awesome job. All right, everybody, that's tremendous. I'm going to share my screen here as we finish up. We just have a couple of minutes left. So one of the other things in Nearpod, if I return home, and some of the groups are actually talking about this, but there is a lesson library. So if we click over there, there are all kinds of things that are already made. Now, some people charge. It's almost like a teachers pay teachers. But if you click free, you'll see all kinds of different lessons by subject area. And in fact, I can even, there's the next gen science standards and things like that. But if I go down to Pennsylvania and I can say, show me what relates to ELA in 3rd grade. And these are all the lessons that have been tagged that way. Okay, so, and again, as long as you have the free filter on, which I didn't, let me turn that on. So here are all the free lessons that are out there that people put together. So you can actually then choose, if you'd like, you can share your lessons with others as well. So there's all kinds of stuff there. And I know one of the rooms was talking about the COVID, and I think that didn't work because I have the filter on. So let's try one more time here. Yeah, here's help students stay informed. So these are lessons that have been put together about germs and about COVID-19 specifically. So you can see this community has really responded to the pandemic and added some things that we can use. And a lot of these are from Nearpod. They created these. All right, questions? You can unmute or use the chat. Having seen this now, a final question on your way out this virtual door. Having seen Nearpod, is this something you feel you will make use of now to deliver lessons? Using yes or no? I am seeing all yeses coming in and a thumbs up. So it looks like this might be something that that some of you will turn around and use right away. Remember, best thing to do is to, once you learned it, mess around with it today and implement it. And I think your students will really like it too. It's a lot of fun for them. And they are truly interactive activities that we can build very, very quickly. All right, well, thank you everybody for coming. We do have a session tomorrow at 10:30. So we want to plug that. Go ahead. Who's up tomorrow? Is it Diane or Renee?
Oh, that would be Diane.
All right,
And
Diane,
we're
what do you have
doing-
tomorrow?
We are doing summarization in any subject. And for your kids that are struggling readers, we'll be looking at a very simple tool. Actually, there are two. One is Rewordify, and then the other is called Summary. But then we're going to focus on online or virtually, what skills or tools can we use to have kids summarize. And it is National Poetry Month, so we'll be developing a 6-word memoir, as well as a couple other online tools to get the kids doing the summarization rather than the teacher doing all the work when we're online. So it should be fun.
That sounds great. And Renee, you're up on Thursday. What do you have at 10:30 on Thursday?
Thursday, we are going to show you how you can take that great STEM concept and kind of plug it in online to some of the content that you're teaching, some of the concepts and some of the subjects. So we're going to show you how you can just take one little tiny part of STEM and just plug it right in.
Awesome. Yeah, we don't have to forget STEM, even though we may not have access to all the things we typically use. You certainly can practice STEM principles remotely as well. So
and these teachers did a tremendous job today.
They sure did. We
They
saw a lot of
absolutely did.
really great stuff. One last thing that everyone should know before you take off, and it looks like everybody's stuck around. Over the coming days, we're going to start transitioning from our mini site that you use to get here to our main ciu10.org website. So we'll leave the mini site up, but starting Friday, you're going to see a banner at the top that says basically, please click here. That will let you see both our archive, which will move, and also the upcoming sessions. So starting Friday, probably Friday afternoon, if you go to our mini site that you used to get here today, you're going to see a link back to our main site. Everything's going to be there, both what we do and what our special ed and our TAC people are doing. So we really feel it's important to get the word out on everything that's being offered by the IU. We're doing a lot, and if there are things you want us to do, please let us know, and we'll add them to the queue. Okay, thanks again, everybody. Have a tremendous day, and please stay safe out there. Take care.